Hello there, I'm Erik Dancy, and in this video, we'll take a look at Arban Characteristic Study No. 9, one of the Missouri All-State Band audition excerpts. First, let's hear the complete etude. Now let's break down a few things that will help you prepare this successfully. This etude comes from the Characteristic Study section, which is close to the back of the book. It's also only the first 6 lines, which makes up about a third of the entire etude. Arban notes that these etudes are composed and designed to test your stamina, technicality, and musicality. This is probably the most demanding excerpt. You'll spend a lot of time on it, but that's exactly why Arban included these studies in the book, to develop your technique, your stamina, and your musicality. Now let's look at some specific practice tips. Practice tip number 1, parts to the whole. Yes, there's a lot of ink on this page. Yes, there's a lot of speedy rhythms. Yes, there's a wide range of notes to play. But in the end, there's only 18 measures of music that you're going to play, and some of those measures repeat themselves. So in reality, you're really only learning less than 10 passages as you prepare this piece. You learn measure 1 and you've learned measure 5. So spend a session learning one measure and get it completely right, no matter how long it takes. And then I guess I'd also recommend with this etude in general, if you can print a zoomed in copy, or if you're using a tablet, you turn it to the horizontal way and zoom in so you can see all of the notes, you're going to be much better off playing this. So here's measure 1, 3 times in a row. Practice tip number 2, relax and plan your breathing. I think the hardest part about preparing all the notes that are on this page is the tension that comes along, honestly. When we force our slide to move really fast, or if we are only taking in a little bit of air, or if we have a body that looks stressed, all those things are going to affect our performance. Here's an example of what I'm talking about. It's just messy. So we have to find a balancing point. We don't want our performance to be woozy and lazy, but we have to find that balance between too much intensity and not enough. I found also that planning my breathing helps with that peace of mind and relaxation piece. Finding the rests, finding the eighth notes are great places to plan your breaths. Ideally, we want to keep every note that's on the page written for us to play. But if you're trying to practice the full run through and occasionally you have to take out a 16th note because you absolutely need a little breath to get through the rest of the phrase, it could be an okay thing to go through. Just keep practicing that endurance to try and get to there. Here's what I'm talking about. Practice tip number 3, Find the musicality. With all the notes that are on the page, it's really easy to forget that you're playing an artful instrument instead of a machine. So experiment with your dynamics, make a difference between those regularly articulated notes and the slurs, experiment with the phrase shape or anything else that can make all these notes sound beautiful. The person who's listening to your audition is probably going to hear these excerpts many times throughout the day. So strong musical choices can help your performance stand out. Let me demonstrate what I'm thinking of. Bonus time again. Start slow and pay attention to the details. Starting to sound like a broken record now if you've watched the other videos, but choose your starter, whether it's the tuner, the metronome, the recording device, or the app that can do all three of those things. More power to you. All these devices can help you slow down and pick out the details and the mistakes to fix before they become poor habits. Once you've learned the entire study one measure at a time, once you've decided on all the style interpretations with the articulations, and once you've planned where you're going to breathe, it's time to do a full run through slowly. But here's the catch: use your recording device, or even use your mobile phone and video record yourself and then reflect on where you're at. Take note of the things that you're doing well. Find a couple of things that you don't like and want to fix. Take notes about those things. And then set to work on them. And then record yourself again and start the whole process over. Just imagine how much progress you could make if you actually organized your time and had goals to do that, rather than just saying, okay, got my All-State audition coming up, better practice, and just run everything. Organizing your time will make a huge difference. Let me demonstrate at a slower tempo two measures that gave me trouble when I was preparing this for these videos. This is measure 7 and 8. I didn't like how the top notes in my phrase didn't come out. I could hear that. So this time I'm going to blow through the phrase more, and that way all the notes can sound pretty. Watching this video alone will not win you the audition. You still have to put in the work, you still have to seek feedback, and you have to be honest in your preparation as you go along your journey. I was in your shoes once, preparing and participating in these auditions here as a student in Missouri. And now, as a music teacher and a freelancing trombonist in the Kansas City area, I've helped other students prepare for these auditions as well. My goal here is simply to give you some ideas and some tools that might help you in your preparation.